Welcome to Reread. We are talking about Star Wars missions numbers 13, 14, 15, and 16, this time written by Dave Wolverton. Oh, it's going to be good. Basically, the first one, number 13, is called Prisoner of the Nikto Pirates. The Nikto Pirates basically capture Han, Luke, Leia, and Chewie. They've got the Falcon and a tractor beam, and Han's going to basically hide in those smugglers' compartments again. They're going to break out. I don't know what they're going to do. There's like 500 pirates on the ship, but they've escaped the Death Star before, so they can take on this again. So you're one of those 5 people. The droids are with them too. And I think, I should mention, even though I forgot, Q7N is mentioned in Ryder Wenham's books. He doesn't really do much, but he's mentioned there. So Ryder kept that character around. He's not around here, though, because Ryder didn't write it. But it begins off, there's a B1D4 droid, and it asked 3PO, it's kind of an outdated model, and 3PO's like, whatever. And she's like, no, I need you to connect with me. Come on, integrate with me. And he goes, okay. And then his eye, when he integrates with her, his eyes kind of flutter and goes, oh my. And he's feeling great and happy. And did Dave Wolverton slip in something here? Because he's talking about how awesome she is, how he tells R2-D2, she said I had the shiniest servo motor she's ever seen. You're like, did they do it as droids? Is that what in the children's book? I mean, it's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek, and I wouldn't put Dave Wolverton past doing something like this. And I so wish the man was still alive so I could ask him about it. When I handed him all these mission books to sign, I don't know what I was talking about because I just loved talking to Dave Wolverton. And we started talking about something, and I may have mentioned like the first couple of the first story arc, but I did not actually get to ask him that. And I didn't know, how risque it kind of felt there. But Leia ends up buying the droid, and they bring B1D4 along with them. Now, there is, at the end of this, as you escape from the pirates and whatnot, there is a pirate, Kashim, who's going after you, trying to seek revenge for what kind of damaging their ship. He escapes in his own little one-fighter ship there. But at the end, there's a Moff, and it's an IG-88 model. It's I can't remember his name here. I had it down somewhere. But anyway, he's Admiral, and Wolverton, 4ATC, that's what it is, 4ATC. He doesn't give out the letters and the numbers. He basically pronounces out the names. So for the longest, I was really confused it was a droid. Until like in the 4th book, they keep mentioning that it is an IG-88 model droid that is an admiral an admiral in the Imperial Army. And this droid is working on a project called the Heart of Steel, which is the B1D4 droid. You see, B1D4 can seduce any machine to falling in love with her after they integrate with her, and they will do her bidding. Well, he's using that to kind of subdue all the rebellion droids against the rebellion and make them subservient to him, because the Admiral, 4ATC, is going to control B1D4. And that's kind of what we find out in the first book. It's kind of weird. But Wolverton's humor starts building up in number 14 here. It's called the Monsters of Dweem. That's where Luke, Han, and Leia go. Okay, you think they're going to go there, but at the very end of the last book, B1D4 talks to the Millennium Falcon. You're like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? It's like, I need you to do me a little favor, sugar. I don't know if she talks with a southern accent, but if you call someone sugar, I guess you should. But I would imagine you would. Anyway, Luke figures out what B1D4's designation is, what she's supposed to do, because she gets knocked out at the end of the adventure, and Luke has a look at her diagnostic and goes, oh no. And 3PO and R2 are both smitten with her at this point. So they both have the virus now. And he kind of tells Han, and they're both wary of this robot. Now, switch around in book 2, and you are part of a scout team to Dweem sent out by 4ATC to recruit that, to find that droid and that rebel base. There may be a rebel base on Dweem. And when you get there, you encounter these monsters, and for lack of it says, since you're on the planet Dweem, and you don't have, for lack of a better word, you're on the planet Dweem, you call them Dweemans. Dweemans. Yep, love it. Again, I'd forgotten how hilarious these were. I know Dave Overton was cackling on his laptop as he was typing this out, or typewriter if it was around late 90s, whatever he was using, his computer probably, giggling to himself about how he was getting away with all these cheesy puns and other risque things. But they actually find an old Republic base used probably even prior to the Clone Wars, even it says. And so now you're like, oh man, the rebels aren't here. So now you're just trying to escape the planet. And when you do, you get to one spot where you have this dialogue with some kind of creature there, and they give you it gives them a riddle. There are two pathways, one to the left and one to the right. And it says wherever one has a light shining in the back, and one is completely pitch black. One leads to doom, the other one leads to your freedom. And he goes, my only clue is make sure nothing follows you into the cave. And of course, I knew it immediately. I was like, well, what a kid, a shadow. So you see it has a light, it'll cast a shadow behind you, and so a shadow will follow you in, which means it's bad. But it's basically choose your own adventure. So you go, it says if you go left, read this. If you go right, turn to the next page. It's like, shut up. Now, both of them, you'll have to do an extra, roll. If you go toward the light, there's danger there. And the left takes you on to, less dangerous attributes, but you get more points for choosing the correct one too, because at the end you get these points at the end of the adventure. So I was like, this is really neat. Also something neat was there's an appendix in the end where these creatures who are chasing after you, they're talking, and for you to understand what they're saying, it says go to discussion 5 in the appendix. Go to discussion 3 in the appendix. If you're at certain areas in the game, you have to read and you can listen to what they're saying. And basically it's just comedic stuff where a mother is telling her kids, save some for me, this is yummy meat. And they're always making jokes about, I want to eat the legs, save a leg for me, like a chicken leg. So a human leg must taste really tasty, and they all want those human legs. That it was kind of funny, but that was all in the appendix. You had to keep flipping back and forth there. But making a choice to go left or right based on a riddle, I thought that was so smart, so smart. Now at the end of this adventure, you come to the conclusion that the B1D4 droid and the rebels are not there. They must have rerouted through Coruscant, because that's where B1D4 is more, I don't know, being an old Republic droid, she'd feel more safe on Coruscant. And she probably, and they guessed right, the Admiral says she probably took over and talked to the Millennium Falcon and got it to reroute not to go to Dweem and go to the Coruscant. So then they take off to Coruscant to chase after the Falcon, which they are correct, because in Missions 15, Voyage to the Underworld, Han is trying to override the Falcon, and he has a password. He kind of mutters it, but everyone can hear it. It's Organa. And Leia looks at me and went, in honor of your father. Funny stuff. Again, Wolverton making me laugh. Basically, the team has to go, when they get on Coruscant, they somehow escape the Falcon, but it's impounded, and people are heavily searching for these rebels, because they know the Falcon is something that Darth Vader wants, even though Darth Vader has predicted that it will escape. You find that out at the end of the adventure. But so they're on Coruscant, and Lando has a friend called Phelan, and he owes Han a favor. Han did him a solid a long time ago, so he wants Phelan to help them out. He's some kind of computer slicer himself. So now your mission, Rebels, is to go through the depths of Coruscant to find where Phelan is and have him help you escape the planet. There's another funny joke here where you were driving with 3PO, R2, and Chewbacca you are not playing as, because they are accompanying you, whoever you are. And I'm guessing you're Han Solo, because Han's always with Chewie, and Han would say something like this. 3PO is aggravating you, and 3PO goes, don't forget about this, as you're piloting the speeder. And he goes, and then you respond, or how Han would respond, if I want to let you drive, you'll know the moment I jump out of the speeder. I thought that was great. Oh, it's so funny. Now, after you make another choice with different endings again, one's just harder than the rest, about what direction you want to go. I can't remember, on a river or something. But once you make that choice, you come up with different endings. You'll escape Coruscant. Basically, Phelan's going to find, since you don't have the B1D4 droid with you, and R2 is infected with the virus, he uses the virus and infects the computers of Coruscant to fall in love with B1D4 and temporarily allow the Millennium Falcon, which is now called the Melon Falcon on the transponder code now, to escape. And they don't know how it happened, but when the Imperial agent who's in charge of the dock tells Darth Vader, he went, well, Lord Vader, you are correct. They are going to escape. He's like, good. Everything is going according to plan. Oh, what is the plan? Well, it turns out they make it to this rebel who's been with them, I guess, for years. I don't know. But he turns out to be an Imperial spy and a traitor and captures the entire group. Aha! So Darth Vader wanted them to escape to get to this one guy so they could capture him. Wouldn't Darth Vader want to capture him himself? I don't know. I don't know about that. But anyway, Mission 16, Imperial Jailbreak. You are basically playing as the pirate Kashim. You're fed up with the Empire. You don't want to deal with them anymore. And you kind of like the rebellion. But the Admiral, R4TC, is threatening to kill you. But you say, hey, I'll make you a deal. Let me try to retrieve that droid. You know, you really want that B1D4 droid. Let me do it. Okay, and maybe that'll be worth my life. And so the Admiral agrees. So you go on a mission to recover that droid. You're going through some swamp planet, it looks like, but where Luke, Leia, and Han are captured. Now, you witness Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie trying to escape, and you see the droid with them, and so you take the droid, you successfully make it out with the droid, and they are trapped on the swamp planet. Like, they can't get out. They're going to be trapped by the Imperials as Vader's coming to get them. That's how the adventure, well, that's how the action part ends. And then the last, usually the endings are like 2 pages long. This ending is a 6-page long ending because it's Dave Wolverton who wrote it, of course. And basically, Kashim decides he wants to join the rebellion. But to get away from the Admiral, 4ATC, who is a quick drawing assassin droid, IG-88, he has to outgun him. So as he's counting down from 10 in his head, he's thinking about all his memories, all his life, from his childhood to now, being a pirate, what his life has meant to him. And then while he thinks the droid is, contemplating, I don't know, what's on B1D4, he draws his blaster and shoots and wins and kills the Admiral. But right as the Admiral was half a second away from killing him, supposedly the Admiral had already quick drawn or raised his arm as a weapon or whatever and was about to shoot him. So Kashim realizes he was half a second away from death, but he was quick enough to draw down and kill the Admiral, save the droid, give it over to the rebellion, turn himself in as well, mentions they can drop him off at Hoth, but the rebels don't say that's his base yet. So I was going to have to move this story forward, but it looks like I don't have to because they don't mention, they mention the planet, but they don't mention that's where the rebel base is. But he decides he wants to join the rebellion, and Leia's like, sure, we use all types here. So kind of a little happy ending for Kashim. Overall, Dave Wolverton, man, these missions books are really, really good. Better than I remember. I remember loving them, but I don't remember why. Now I do remember the why. They're lovely, and it's a shame. It's a shame they're so hard to get. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.